Hello, I'm Melinda Newsfeed, guiding you through some of the things that people have been talking about online. Today on Newsfeed. Two leading Hong Kong protesters are released on bail, but the social media storm has just begun. Protection or profit? Why is the Indonesian government closing a popular tourist island? One man's labour of love becomes the missing piece in Lego's set. And the perfect ending for the internet's favourite fat cat. Joshua Wong and Agnes Chow are two faces synonymous with Hong Kong's anti-Beijing protests. News spread quickly online that the pair were among a number of activists arrested on Friday. They've now been released on bail, but that hasn't done anything to calm the social media storm. Here's Bruce Harrison.
Well, the arrest of Joshua Wong as well as other pro-democracy activists is certainly causing a buzz on social media, and there's a common theme I'm seeing among a lot of the tweets among pro-democracy supporters, one by Denise Ho, who says, by arresting Joshua Wong in these very heated times, it shows how fundamentally stupid and clueless the Hong Kong government and police force are. She continues, unless that is what they are aiming for, to deliberately create more chaos and push people to the edge of violence. And that has been the sentiment throughout this summer, that by pushing back, arresting demonstrators on site, and not meeting the key demands of the pro-democracy supporters, they're only fueling the movement. Another tweet in that similar vein. Agnes Chow, Joshua Wong, Andy Chen Ho Tin were all arrested shortly, while Jimmy Sham and Max Chung were assaulted by mobs yesterday. This is how the government responded to protesters. They still think the movement leaders are the ones to deal with. An interesting tweet because it explains a little bit that this summer's demonstrations, unlike the 2014 umbrella movement, don't have the same kind of prominent faces, the Joshua Wong of that day, the Agnes Chow. They're referring to this summer's demos as a leaderless movement. It flows like water. And that's why they say it makes it so difficult for the authorities, the Hong Kong authorities, to repress this movement, to eliminate it, because through different social media means they are communicating, they are continuing to rally, and it'll continue. And another tweet, also in a similar vein, unfortunately, this is by a tweeter, Quan. Unfortunately, we're not going to stop without them. We start protesting before he was set free from the prison, so we will just keep going. Joshua Wong was freed from prison in mid-June. He'd served a 2-month sentence for his activity during the June 2014 pro-democracy movement, and he was released recently. And as I mentioned, the movement this summer hasn't had those same prominent faces, and Wong himself even said he was going to try and take a back seat because it's not about one person, it's about everyone coming together, but also being more stealthy is one way to put it, to keep momentum. And we're also hearing that despite a ban and now a rejection of appeal to hold a march on Saturday, demonstrators are only going to be more galvanized to come out and hold this massive march, despite that it hasn't been authorized by the local authorities.
Let's have a look now at some other things that caught our eye on social media. A well-known Egyptian presenter has been banned from appearing on television for a year after making controversial comments about obese women live on air. Rahan Saeed said overweight women were a burden on their families and the state. Not surprisingly, her remarks have sparked outrage on social media. DARPA is an agency within the US Department of Defense responsible for developing new military technology. On Wednesday, they sent out a tweet which had a lot of people freaked out. They asked Twitter users for information about underground tunnels in urban areas capable of hosting experiments. Do-do-do-do, cue the spooky music. But it turns out they're not trying to hide a demogorgon. They're just looking for a place to host an upcoming technology competition. And a new Donald Trump statue is proving as divisive as the man himself. The 8-metre-tall wooden statue has been erected in Slovenia, the home country of Trump's wife Melania. The artwork references the Statue of Liberty with one arm raised in the air and is meant to be a comment on populist politics. But not everyone appreciates the artistic merits. Some residents of the small country town have called it ugly and a waste of wood. One farmer even drove his tractor into it. The Indonesian government says it's shutting down a popular tourist island and evicting the people who live there in the name of conservation. Komodo Island is home to the world's largest lizards, the Komodo dragons. The government says it wants to improve their habitats, but critics say it's a money-making move. Take a look.
We hope the government can deal with conservation in a more humane way to increase the population of Komodo dragons and revive the ecosystem of Komodo Island, not by closing it, nor by breaking the ties between the community and the Komodo dragons.
Our livelihoods depend on souvenirs. So if the closure does happen, how can we earn money? Because we only work at Komodo National Park.
A Palestinian community in the Jordan Valley says it's being prevented from pumping water out of its own land. The villagers say Israel has cut them off from their well, depriving them of the vital resource.
بنعاني كثير من جميع مقومات الحياة، ولكن العمود الفقري للحياة هو الماء، لأنه بدون أكل مستعد الإنسان يعيش، بس بدون مي ما بنقدر نعيش. فإسرائيل حرمتنا من جميع مصادر المياه.
شايف المثوى ومش بعيد عني 100 متر. بصحليش اشرب منه، بصحليش اسقي غنم منه الا من المي اللي بكبها. وياخذوا حق، بديش منهم زاد ببلاش. ما رضوش. لانه لو في مي ما فيش معاناه. يعني نص المعاناه بتضيع، لانها الحياه المي.
Let's go around the world now for some other stories you need to know about this Friday. Google's security experts have dropped a bombshell. They found evidence that almost every single iPhone user has been vulnerable to cyber attacks for about the past 2 years. The researchers say hacked websites were being used to install malware on iPhones, which could compromise all your sensitive data. Apple patched the problem with its iOS update earlier this year. So if you haven't updated your phones in a while, get to it. Unfortunately, sexual harassment on public transport is a big problem in Japan. So to tackle the issue, one company has launched an anti-groping device. Victims can mark a perpetrator with an invisible ink stamp. The device has a black light, which people can use to scan the crowd and see if anyone has been marked. Sounds useful in theory, but sexual violence groups have some concerns. They say it's problematic for inventors and manufacturers to profit from a crime. Have you heard? Arnold Schwarzenegger has gone braless in Paris, and The Rock has put on a busty display in a summer shirt. Those tongue-in-cheek headlines are the work of a new satirical Twitter account, Daily Mail Online, spelt M-A-L-E. It highlights the way tabloids objectify women by turning the tables and reporting on famous men. Lego has been a building block of creative childhoods for generations, but there was always one group of kids who couldn't as easily get involved in the action, until now.
Lego has been a childhood staple since 1932. But now one bright idea means these little building blocks are opening up a new world to the blind. This is Matthew. Back when he was 13, his friend Lilia gave him a special gift.
I never thought in a million years that I would be able to build Lego sets on my own. But Lilia came up with a way. She took every single part that was needed in a certain set, every single piece. She gave it a custom name that she made up so that it would be easy to recognize and find and understand what it was, to understand its identity. And then she wrote out the instructions. So she'd write, put a flat 6x4 vertically on the table. Put a flat 6x1 horizontally on the back edge, overhanging by 2 buttons to the right. Repeat symmetrically at the front.
Matthew's friend Lilia died in 2017, but with the help of technology, her idea is now helping thousands of blind children around the world.
Blind kids deserve this much more than I did because they had even less access to this than I did. Not many people have Lilas in their lives, or parents who can sit with them for hours and build this sort of thing. So then I started LegoForTheBlind.com, and on this website, we bought every single Lego set that we could find, thrift stores, yard sales, wherever, and we made text-based instructions for them, and we posted them on that website.
The website has attracted Lego's attention. The company wants to use AI to take Matthew's vision a step further. They've developed software with the Austrian Research Institute for Artificial Intelligence to translate the building instructions into text that can be read by Braille reading devices and translated into voice commands for smartphones.
It's very awesome. I love it because now I might actually be able to build with my brothers. They're obsessed with Legos, and I've always wanted to build with them. And you know, I couldn't because I can't see. So finally I might get my chance.
Allowing every blind child to play really helps them learn, but it's also thrilling to the people around them. Their sighted friends come and they say, wow, you built this? And that's more engagement, that's more interaction with their sighted friends. They grow closer to their sighted friends. They grow closer to their parents and their teachers and whoever else they meet along the way.
Lego is creating a pathway towards inclusion. They are encouraging, motivating, and I even want to say demanding that other companies who develop toys jump on board. It is not fair, it is not okay, and it is not just for things not to be accessible to everyone, including children who are blind and visually impaired.
Lego is piloting the project until the end of the year. The company hopes to feature more languages in the future and show the potential for technology to touch children's lives.
And we'll wrap up today's episode of Newsfeed with our favourite fat cat, Mr. B. The oversized feline who captured hearts all over the internet has a new home. The 12-kilogram kitty became a social media superstar when the Morris Animal Refuge in Philadelphia tweeted this pic looking for someone to adopt him. It went viral and the animal shelter received more than 3,000 applications from potential parents. The flabby tabby now has a loving foster family who are helping him get back into shape and restore his health. A perfect ending. That's all from the Newsfeed team. Reach out to me with your questions and comments at Mindy Newsophora. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. See you tomorrow.